Welcome everyone to the Southern Association of College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you for being with us tonight. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot hear or see you. This is one of many sessions being offered, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions. The presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website where you registered. And so before we get started, I'd just like to thank our sponsor, Cambridge Assessment International Education. And so now I would like to turn it over to our first institution, Northumbria University.
Hey everyone, good afternoon to those who are joining from Texas, and then good evening to those in the UK. It's 10 o'clock at night here, so it's a late one for us. My name's Ian Harris. I'm representing Northumbria University, located in the city of Newcastle, Northeast England. There's a QR code there where you can jump straight onto our website if you need to. So those of you who probably haven't heard about Northumbria, whereabouts are we? So we are in the city of Newcastle upon Tyne. And this is Northeast England. So everyone's obsessed with how close you are to London. We are a 2-hour, 45-minute train to London, direct train. We're approximately a 3-hour train to Manchester, 90 minutes to Edinburgh. We also have, we're very proud of, hence a big photo in the background, an international hub airport, which is 20 minutes from the city centre by our metro system, which also takes you from the city out to the coast in 20 minutes. For those who are traveling from the US, typically flying in via London or Amsterdam or Paris, it's an hour flight from our Newcastle airport down to Heathrow and an hour and a half over to Paris. In terms of the city of Newcastle, it's a very small city, both in geography and also population. So we have around 300,000 in the city, but we have 2 large universities right in the city centre. So it's pretty much a college city feel. So 1 in 6 people within the city is a student, and it's a very friendly city. It's a very accessible city. It's a very affordable city, and that's why we win many accolades for being one of the UK's favourite student cities. The scale of the city in terms of the geography means that you become very familiar with the space and the place, and that gives you a sense of safety, and that's assuring. And we also have been recognised in the top 20 safest UK universities. In terms of the university itself, we have got a growing reputation, increasing in its trend. We're now a top 400 global university, a top 30 UK university. And many of our majors are internationally recognised with accreditations. That means we have that global reach for our students once they graduate. And that's reflected in our top 15 UK graduate employability rate. As you'll know, students who are applying from the US will be declaring their major on application. And that depth of knowledge and depth of learning experience leads into the practice-led teaching, which means it's very much informed by industry. And again, that's complemented by all of our majors offering some type of industrial placement or experience related to the major. We have a unique academic offer in many places, in many parts, sorry. We have over 200 3- to 4-year majors. Every student will be offered a personal tutor to provide pastoral and academic support. And we have a very good ratio of staff to students. As well as our standard offer across 4 academic faculties, business and law, environment and engineering, health and life science, and arts, design and social sciences, we have 2 very unique partnerships. We have a soccer partnership with I2I, and we have a unique year in business opportunity for students who are studying non-business majors who may want to go and get some business acumen, both in an academic and also experience professionally in our Amsterdam campus at Amsterdam University of Applied Science. So in terms of your home at Northumbria, so as I mentioned before, it's a relatively small city, and the vast majority of our accommodation that's university managed is within a 5-minute walk from the city centre and the campus. One of our accommodation blocks is about a 25-minute walk from the campus and city centre. Our 5,000 university managed rooms are single occupancy, and all international students are guaranteed their own bedroom in university accommodation. We have a range of catered or self-catered accommodation as well, but the majority of it is catered and costs are between $96 to $205 a week. Beyond study, we have 31,000 students, 200 of which are from the US, and they enjoy over 100 different societies to get involved in. We don't have a Greek life like you would be used to in the US college system, and that's reflected in many of the other UK universities. We have a fantastic reputation for competitive sports and an award-winning student support and wellbeing team based in our university central library. In terms of a brief overview of facts and figures, so tuition fees are around £16,000 to $22,000 a year. We are FAFSA accredited, and we have a range of scholarships, a global scholarship of £6,000 and a Raise Me Micro scholarship of $2,000. Typically, we're looking for a 3.0 GPA with an ACT or SAT or APs considered, but we are in this test option environment considering students with a 3.2 GPA who don't have any of the standardized tests. In terms of further contact details, there's my email, and also if you scan the QR code, you can book an individual appointment with me at any time that's convenient to you. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Northumbria University. And just a reminder to our audience that you can pose questions to all of our presenters using the Q&A feature, and do indicate which university you're posing that question to if it is for a specific institution. Next up, we have the University of Strathclyde in Scotland.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Ashley, and I work in the Recruitment and International Office at the University of Strathclyde. So give me a second and I'll just bring up my presentation. So for anyone who doesn't know about the University of Strathclyde, we are based in downtown Glasgow in Scotland. So this is a lovely bird's eye view of Glasgow city centre that you can see here, and our campus is actually only a few minutes walk away from what you can see here, so everything is really at your doorstep. Some background information about Glasgow itself. So we are third largest city in the UK and the largest in Scotland with around 1 million people. We were also voted UNESCO's City of Music with over 140 different music events on each week. Glasgow has 6 universities in total and a student population of around 170,000. So during peak academic year, you can find lots of students across the city. We are voted friendliest city in the world according to Rough Guides. This is certainly something that I can agree with. I myself also studied abroad, and you'll really find nowhere friendlier than Glasgow. We also have excellent transport links with 2 international airports connecting Glasgow with the world, and only 1 hour flight away to London. So whether you want to go back home to visit your friends and your family, or if you want to visit London for the weekend, you've got the option to do that. Now, this is a map of the University of Strathclyde. So the part that's outlined in blue is our campus. Now, unlike some universities where you might find one building at one side of the city, another building maybe 40 minutes away, which can make it incredibly challenging to get to your classes, all of our buildings, including our student accommodation, are within a 5-10 minute walk from each other, making it easy to get to and from your classes. And out with our campus, you'll see that we have Queen Street train station, Central train station, and our Buchanan Street bus station, which connects not just with Glasgow and Scotland, but with the rest of the UK. Now, in terms of some background information about the university itself, so we were founded in 1796. We have a rich history of teaching and innovation. We're located in the centre of Glasgow, Scotland's largest city. We are home to students from over 100 countries. We have excellent industry links within our Technology and Innovation Centre. In terms of awards, we were a winner of the Times Higher Education UK University of the Year 2019. This was the second time that we won this, as we also won in 2012. And most recently, we have climbed 36 places in the Guardian's University Guides, and we are now 15th in the UK. So just some background information about undergraduate study here at the university. So we have 4 faculties. We have our engineering, science, humanities and social sciences, and then our Strathclyde Business School. So there's lots of flexibility, specifically within our humanities and business subjects, where students can actually choose which subjects they want to study in their first and second year, and then they have the option to choose their major in their final years, their final 2 years. So this is great for undergraduate students who don't know what they want to study yet, don't know what they want to have their degree specialised in, so they have lots of flexibility to choose that in their first 2 years. We have bachelor's degrees with honours in Scotland over a course of 4 years, and we also have an integrated master's degrees in engineering and science, which are a duration of 5 years. So this is an example of the degree structure. So you'll see in your first year, you can choose your 3 subjects that you want to study, and then in your second year, you would choose 2 out of those 3 subjects. And in your third year, again, you would continue your 2 subjects, but by your final year, you can choose to either do a single or joint honours degree. So an example of that would be business with psychology, or just a single honours degree on its own. So in terms of the application process, you would apply through UCAS, or you can apply directly on our website. Through UCAS, you would apply for up to 5 course choices, and the international deadline is the 30th of June. For entry requirements, we would look for a 3.0 GPA in your high school diploma, and we are also test optional as well. So if you're unsure about whether or not your entry requirements would meet what we would look for the specific course, you can email your transcript to myself. I'll give you my email address at the end of the session, and you can send me your transcript, and we will review this on a case-by-case basis. So tuition fees range from £16,000 to £22,500. Glasgow is actually one of the cheapest cities in the UK. I normally tell students to budget up to maximum $14,000 per academic year, which will cover you for your living costs. And for funding, we have faculty scholarships available between £2,000 and £5,000 for each academic year, and we also accept FAFSA. So in terms of the different facilities that we have available, we have our Strathclyde Sport, which was opened back in 2018. We have our Student Union, our on-campus housing and accommodation, and we also have a range of services available, and we have our career service available as well. So that's the last of the slides. You can find my email address here. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.
Excellent, thank you very much. And our next presentation will be from the University of Westminster, London. I invite them to go right ahead.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Let me hope this works and share my slides. There we go. It has worked. So yes, hi everyone, I'm from Westminster. My name's Jane, and I support international students coming from the Americas to study with us. So as with everyone else, you've got my contact details here. You're welcome to ask questions now about anything in the chat, or you can email me at any point through the admission journey. And everything I'm going to say is on our website as well. So look at our international pages for information about applications, admissions, country requirements, and visas and funding, and all of our subject lists and much more detail about our courses is available as well on the course pages. We do have some open events coming up, and everyone's got virtual open events at the moment, I'm sure, for all the institutions here today. So we've got a programme for undergraduate students on the 13th of March. So if you would like to know more, do register on our website. You'll be able to speak to tutors, have a virtual look around the university, speak to some students, and get to know a lot more. So in terms of the university and who we are and why you should consider studying with us, we are, so the University of Westminster was established to teach Londoners professional skills in the early 1800s, and that really has shaped what we are and what we do today. So in terms of our course offering and our professional applied programs, in terms of the teaching style that we offer, and I think also in terms of the industry focused and relevant curriculum. We're an average size for a UK university. We have about 20,000 students. We are part of the city, and I will talk more about the different buildings we have around London. So that's split out of the different faculties, very international, reflecting London as a global city. And also Westminster itself has more than 160 different nationalities in our student and staff body at the moment. So you're not only getting that international experience of coming and studying in the UK, you're also getting a global experience and hopefully building up a global network of friends and contacts for your career for the future as well. So everybody showed the map. We are in London, so it's easy, and great to remind you as well that the UK is fairly small. So if you want to travel around and visit different places while you're here, very accessible. And we've got, 5 international airports on our doorstep, as well as various train and regional and international train routes for you on offer. So you may be familiar with London already, but this map doesn't always become isn't always the clearest for people. But we are part of the city, so you'd only study at one campus for your subject area. But you're welcome to use all the facilities across the university. If you know London, you might know Oxford Circus, Regent Street. That's our original building, and it's about a 15 walk. So central London's actually fairly small, so you can walk between these central campuses. But yeah, that one you may recognise Baker Street and Madame Tussauds. That's opposite our Marylebone campus. And then if you're a football, or I should say a soccer fan, then at Wembley Stadium, that's about a 25-minute journey on public transport. You have our Harrow campus, which is Digital Creative Industries, and we have accommodation either on site or with a 20 to 30-minute journey as well for students. So I'm just going to go over really briefly our subject areas. So we offer within this area computing, biomedical sciences, things like big data, counselling and psychology, very popular at the moment. You'll notice as we go through with Westminster, look at your programme and obviously look at thinking about studying in London, but also very much look at the campus you're at, because they're all very different and you get a unique experience at each. So Regent Street is our original building. That's the one at Oxford Circus, and this is our liberal arts, social sciences. So things like English literature, museums and galleries is a very popular subject there. Also, we have a law school, and that's do things like entertainment law, fairly niche. This is our Marylebone campus. It's the biggest one. That's the one opposite Baker Street, very modern, very different. And this is the home of our business school. So anything through, you've got it split between the sort of Bloomberg and the business suites, and the other side, which is the architecture studios. Lots of popular subjects at the moment within that. We do a sports management undergraduate course, things like fintech becoming more and more popular, sustainability and innovation management, those sort of areas, and lots of architecture, including interiors, planning, and sustainability and planning for those as well. Then different again, you'll notice our Harrow campus, and that is really modern. It's where all our fashion, film, TV, and where all the studios are. So that's just really what we are, who we are, what we offer. In terms of why you should think about studying with us, really it is obviously we try and make the most of that really central London location that we offer. There are lots of universities in London, but not so many right in the heart and right in the centre, which are using the businesses on our doorstep, the opportunities for partnerships, networking, work placements, but also all those cultural and social opportunities that you've got being in central London. So happy to take questions, as I said, through the chat. In terms of our entry requirements, same again, for the exceptional circumstance of September 21, we are happy to take students with a high school diploma. If there's a change in gradings, or if something that you're not having classes, do get in touch and contact us about that. Everybody's been trying to be fairly flexible this year. So that's me. Any other questions, do let me know, and thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much, University of Westminster, London. Our next institution will be the University of Stirling.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amy Easton, and I am the recruitment manager for the Americas. You might be able to tell from my accent, I'm actually American myself. I did my undergraduate degree and my master's at Stirling, so moved here right out of high school. Probably haven't heard of Stirling, and that's okay. We're right in the middle of Scotland, so we like to say you can come and study at the heart of Scotland. We're 35 minutes direct train from Glasgow, which is our largest city, 45 minutes away from Edinburgh, which is our capital. That's also where you find our two major airports. So really easy to get around the country from Stirling. One of the advantages of not being in the big city means that you have our beautiful campus. We've been voted one of the top 5 universities in the world, and we're first in the UK for our campus environment. You can see here we have a lot of green space. We do have our 18th century castle, a golf course, our loch, and then we also have more up-to-date things like a new modern sports center and a new modern kind of university village that we have right in the center of campus. We have some great videos though on our website to have a campus tour, definitely worthwhile if you've got the time. Overall though, we're one of what we say newer universities. We were built in 1967. In Scotland though, you'll only find 4 universities that are older than us. We call them the ancients. So we like to think we're the oldest of the new. But we really pride ourselves on sport. So we were Sport University of the Year for 2020. We're also known as the University of Sporting Excellence for Scotland. Overall, medium-sized university, about 14,000 students, about 10.5 of those are undergraduates, over 120 different nationalities represented. We do have 5 faculties, which I'll go into a little bit more detail. We've also been voted safest city in the UK, and Police Scotland says we're one of the safest campuses in Scotland. I would say though, pretty much all of Scotland's pretty safe, so you'll probably see that fact come up again and again. Overall though, if you're looking for a degree with us, we do 4-year bachelor degrees, so 4 years is pretty common across Scotland, and these are our 5 faculties. So arts and humanities, health science and sport, natural sciences, social sciences, and our Stirling Management School. Technically a faculty, we've kept the name for some of our rankings, which is why the management school stands out. I would say we're really based like a liberal arts model, so you are able to mix and match those subjects in your first 2 years, and by your 3rd year, you only study classes from your major. But like all UK universities, you will put your major down at the time of application. We are also test optional. We are really looking for that 3.0, looking at your overall transcripts from the last 4 years and taking close attention to your reference and your personal statement. If you are looking to apply, we actually have 3 ways you can apply with us. UCAS, which is our UK kind of application system, where you can apply to all the universities that you're interested, up to 5 choices. We're also on Common App, and we're also offering an online direct application to Stirling. Scholarships, we offer a £2,000 tuition fee discount for our international students. So you would expect tuition fees to be slightly less than what's advertised. We're also offering various sports scholarships, and this can range in the amount of money that you get offered, but we do have certain sports that we look for students, and you can find that information on our website though. But we also accept FAFSA, so any financial aid you would get through FAFSA we can accept, and we also take on private loans like Sallie Mae, as well as the GI Bill. This is what our tuition fees look like. It's pretty comparable. It does vary if you're doing a science or not, but we are one of the lowest cost-saving cities in the UK at the moment. So most students spend about £9,000 to £10,000 per year on living expenses. Like all the other universities here, you'll see that we have accommodation. It's available on or off campus, and it's all apartment style living, which is great because you won't have a roommate. We do have a lot of clubs and societies. I would say, just finishing up, that we are very much a US style campus in the sense that we're definitely a community, and you'll see people wearing their Stirling hoodies, saying hello to everyone, and really just having that sense of a home away from home. And I would say that's something that Stirling can really offer. If you do have questions, my email's there, and I'm always happy for you to get in touch. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, University of Stirling. Our next institution is the London Metropolitan University. I'll invite the representatives from the London Metropolitan University to begin their presentation.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Jadon Joyner, and I am one of two representatives here from London Metropolitan University. So as I said before, I did say this before, but I'm an international officer along with my partner, Megan, and we represent really students from North America. And so I am based in Los Angeles, California, and my partner, Megan Godding, is based in the Northeast, and we help students from all over the country. And so I actually have family kind of in Georgia in the South, and we kind of just go anywhere that we need to. So we'll be your point of contact or your point of reference for anything and everything London Metropolitan. And so now I'm going to pass it to my colleague, Megan.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Jadon. We're here to introduce you to London Metropolitan University, or London Met for short. So we are located in the heart of central London. You met University of Westminster earlier, actually, who have a great central London location as well. And that's really one of the benefits of being a student on our campus, is getting to have access to all of the sights, sounds, businesses, work experiences, and internships in central London. We have two campuses. One is our Holloway campus and one is our Aldgate campus that Jadon and I will speak a little more about in a few slides. We have about 10,000 students, about 7,500 undergrads, and we represent over 147 nationalities across our student, faculty, and staff body. So it's a really global community on the London Met campus. Like other institutions in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, we offer 3-year bachelor's programs, which makes it an accelerated degree from the model you might see back in the US. And we offer 1-year master's degrees. So in theory, you could do 4 years and come out with your master's degree. Our tuition is about $18,000 US per year. Ranges a bit depending on your program, but that's the average. And then we can work with you on your other living costs. But I tell US students to normally budget about $35,000 for the year for all of your living expenses, tuition and fees, accommodation, transit, flights back and forth between the US. And again, we can help advise on that. We do offer international student scholarships like a lot of the other universities tonight, and we do accept US financial aid and US veterans benefits as well.
And as Megan mentioned before, we are a very diverse population. That's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on. And so as you can see in this chart here, 64% of our students are BAME students, which stands for Black, Asian, or minority ethnic students. And so we really do believe that diversity is important, and we believe in making university accessible for students all over the world. And another quick fact, 96% of our student, staff, and faculty come from at least one underrepresented group in higher education. And so we have over 100 full degree students from the US, and we're working to increase our USA and international enrollment. So we're looking for you to join and become part of our London Met community.
Great. And one of our alumni that we're super proud of is actually the current mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. And so there's just a quote here from him about London as a higher ed capital of the world. And I think that's just important to note, that London is always ranked, #1 student city in a lot of ratings you can look up online, including the QS best student cities in the world, because it really has so much to offer. I was an international student in London myself, and now my best friends come from all over the world, and it truly offered me so many opportunities and perspectives, and it's less intimidating than the concept might sound if you've got peers at your high school back in the US who wouldn't necessarily be considering doing their full degree overseas, and that's why all of us are here tonight to help advise you through that. So quickly, I just want to buzz through some photos of our campuses. We really pride ourselves on our students experiencing the real London and not just touristy London. And so here's an aerial view from our Holloway Road campus, which I love, kind of shows a lot of the green spaces in the distance. And you can also see the river in the skyline of London in the distance. Our campus at Holloway Road is our house to our business programs, our communications, our human sciences, and our social sciences, including our super lab, which is one of the largest research science labs in all of Europe. We've got the student gym on that campus, and we're actually right next door to Emirates Stadium, which is the home of Arsenal Football Club for anybody who is a Premier League football fan. And we're about 5 minutes on the tube from there to King's Cross Station, where you can take the train to Hogwarts from platform 9 3/4. But you actually can take a real train from there to mainland Europe and get to Paris or Brussels, Belgium in under 3 hours, which is really cool. You don't even have to fly. So again, this lists some of those programs on that campus. We have kind of a right brain and left brain campus. So Jadon will share with you a bit about our arts campus.
And this is our Altgate campus, which is, again, houses a lot of our artistic programs, including architecture and design. And then it's also, this location is in East London. And as you can see, the Tower Bridge here. And so we're really in the heart of central London.
Great. Again, here's a quick photo of our Super Science Center. This is our Library Learning Center. Some of our updated classrooms in our business school. You can see our media studios, architecture and design studio spaces. Here's some chill out spaces for grabbing food with classmates. And quickly, like the other universities mentioned, our accommodation is normally single room. Students don't have to share with flatmates. They just share bathroom and kitchen space. Student life in London, again, it's a city full of opportunity we can speak to you more about because I want to make sure we get through all of our slides here. Application process rolling, and we're still accepting applicants for September 2021. And next year, we'll be taking applications by UCAS in January, also test optional. And so again, just get in touch if you want to know more about our entry requirements.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that presentation. And we have one more presentation for this session of the fair, and that is the University of Manchester. So I'll let them get going. And just a reminder to our attendees, please do put your questions in the Q&A. And if there's a particular institution that you'd like to address that to, please indicate that. And without further ado, please take it away, Manchester.
Sorry, my computer just started spazzing there. Okay, I'm back. Thank you everyone for joining this evening. My name is Anuli and I am representing the University of Manchester. So a little bit about the University of Manchester. We are a member of the Russell Group, which is a 24-member group of world-class research-intensive universities, and they're out there producing a big impact across many fields. So Manchester has a student population of 40,000. 28,000 of those students are undergraduates, and 29% of our students are from outside the UK and EU. So we do have a long history of welcoming students from abroad, and including North American students. And currently we have about 700 students from the region currently with us. We're offering over 300 subjects, which you can find under our course listing page. So I'll be happy to chat with you about that one-to-one at some point. Our courses fall under 3 faculties: our Faculty of Biology, Medicine, and Health, Faculty of Humanities, and then Faculty of Science and Engineering. So really the list is endless. And for those of you who like to consider rankings, we are ranked 27th in the world, according to the QS World University Rankings, 6th in Europe and 8th in, 6th in the UK, sorry, and 8th in Europe. We have 25 Nobel laureates amongst our staff and students, previous and current. So I think there's 2 actually currently teaching on campus. We are the most targeted UK university by top employers. So think global employers such as Rolls-Royce or IBM. And we have 500,000 alumni out there from 190 countries doing amazing things. So some facts and figures, we do have a student staff ratio approximately of 13:1. In terms of cost of living, students spend approximately $13,000 a year, with tuition ranging from $24,000 non-laboratory degrees to medicine, which is the most expensive, about $45,000. So there's a range of courses in the middle as well. On campus, you are guaranteed single occupancy rooms with catered and self-catered options, and with over 300 student clubs and societies. There's no prerequisites to join them, so there's a lot to do on campus, and we can look a little bit closer at Manchester itself. So we're located in Northwest England. Manchester is more or less in the very middle of the UK. So you can see it on the map there, halfway to London, halfway to Scotland. We're 20 minutes to the Peak District and a short train ride away from the Lake District, and then the countryside is within reach. In 2019, we were voted the top UK city to live in by The Economist, so students are having a fantastic time in the UK with access to areas around the UK and of course Europe. It's a popular student city. We are also the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, if those fun facts are interesting to you. And Manchester is exactly what you'd think of a student city. It's lively, it's diverse, there's restaurants and museums and galleries and lots of cultural things to do once you're stepping away from school and wanting to explore the city itself. The Manchester International Airport is just 20 minutes from campus, and there are direct flights leaving directly from the multiple cities in the US. Here's an aerial view of the campus and the city of Manchester. So you can see that our campus is the city center. It connects right there. So there's a mixture of old and new buildings. I'm sure if you zoomed in really closely, you could see that. The University of Manchester offers students accommodation options, which I just mentioned, but more accommodation options than virtually any other higher ed institution in the UK. And each of our halls has its own character, and you can discover more about them on our university accommodation website, and there'll be price ranges there for you to discover what that looks like. So we do encourage students to stay in a hall of residence, especially their first year, especially if they're moving away from home for the first time. And we do guarantee accommodation places to all new first years coming to Manchester alone, and that includes those who live locally, so those students in the UK as well. It's a good thing for Manchester because not all universities can offer this to first year students. But in addition to our university halls of residence, we also support Manchester Student Homes. So this is a free service for students run in conjunction with other Manchester-based universities, and it's handy for those who wish to move out of university accommodation after their first year. So there's other living arrangements available to students, students to consider. Quickly on our entry requirements, and again, more information is on our website about this, and they do range by the course that you select, but the general requirements are the GPA requirement of minimum 3.0, but likely most subjects are closer to 3.2, 3.3. If you're going to submit APs, they're going to range from 3.5s to 3.4s, but a combination of 3 APs are going to be required. Again, it depends on the subject. If you are on the IB curriculum, then it'll be 32 to 37 with 3 higher level subjects, and each course will lay out exactly what that IB score should look like. So students are looking at websites and our prospectuses, and those are all good ways to learn about the university. But another way you can learn about the university, since now is not a great time to visit, is chatting with a student. So there's a link here. You can visit Manchester study/chat with our students. There's a UniBuddy icon that usually pops up when you visit our website. It should pop up in the bottom right corner, and that's a way for you to select students by nationality or by course, and you can actually chat with current students about the experience. There's also Manchester live webinars available. These have since concluded, but they remain a great resource. They are pre-recorded, so you can go back and watch them. And this will give you a great insight into the University of Manchester and help you make a decision about coming to study here. Thank you, and I hope to speak to you soon.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, University of Manchester. So that concludes all of our presentations from our wonderful universities. We do have a few minutes left before this session of the fair is over, and I'd invite all of our panelists to turn your video back on, and we can answer a few questions. So if any of the attendees have a question, please put that in the Q&A. But to get us started, I'm going to share my screen with a general question that all of our panelists can take a stab at answering. And so if anybody wants to start with the question on the screen there, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
Ask questions and attend these kind of events. Find out as much as you can.
I would say leave yourself as much time as possible so that you can go through information and then process exactly what you've learned. Because after a while, some of these schools start to sound the same and you might not be able to differentiate which school is which if you leave it last minute.
I would say just reimagine what you might know or have thought about what you should do next. For instance, you've come to this session today with all international universities, so you're already considering something maybe a little bit outside the box from what your peers are doing. And it's really a great option that can often be more affordable, more accelerated than some programs at home. So don't feel you need to do what your peers do. There's somebody to help you, all of us in the room, navigate this experience between applying from the US to the UK or other international universities. So think outside the box, because you can really have an amazing experience that's different than your friends at home.
I would say don't panic, and if you need to take longer time out than your friends, maybe. I took 2 years out when I finished my high school before I started university, and it was the best thing I could have done in many ways for my own personal development, my own confidence, and just giving my brain a little bit of a rest before I started thinking about going to university. So if it all does seem a little bit too much, there's no one telling you have to go to university straight away. You can always take some time out, get a bit of life experience, a bit of a rest and refresh, and then start the process again. We're all still going to be here. Higher education is not going anywhere, and it's a great opportunity to do that.
I was just going to add that the system that we use to apply for university here in the UK, which is UCAS, is actually a really great tool to search for subjects that you might be interested in and see what universities are offering those subjects. We have over 100 universities in the UK, and we all offer something that could be the right fit for you. So I would say have a look at the UCAS website. It not only will help you with your application to a UK institution, but it can really help navigate what opportunities are out there for something that you want to study.
I think it's just important as well to do as much research as possible. Obviously, the UK is much smaller than the US, but every university offers a different experience. So have a look at the universities that you're interested in and what they have to offer, whether it be in the countryside or a city centre campus. Have a look where they're located, and just have a think about what it is that you want to get from your degree over the course of 3 or 4 years, and do as much research as possible.
And then I would say just continue to be very curious. In a lot of these universities, there's options that allow you to have conversations with students, with current students who are at those universities, and have conversations with them, ask questions about, what is it like? What was the hardest thing? What was the easiest thing? So I think that'll be very helpful.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much. We are really at the end of our time here for this session. So thank you to all of our institutions who participated this evening. Thank you to all of our attendees. We encourage the attendees to fill out a quick survey that will pop up when the webinar is over. We also encourage you to sign up for any of the other sessions that are taking place this evening. And there will be a recording of this session in about a week on the website where you registered. So thank you all so much and enjoy your evenings.